Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Why am I trying to? As you can see, I'm still trying to get the knack of this. We'll get there soon. We'll get there soon. We will. Okay. I'm gonna be doing something different. Well, not something different. I'm doing an Instagram live and I'm doing a YouTube live. I want to see how this works. Okay, let's set this up. Okay. Get my incense. So the incense I am burning today is African musk. I can find my lighter. And very much. Actually, scrap that. I actually need my phone. So the incense I'm burning is African musk. The music I am playing will be 432 music, 432 hertz. And the tea I'm drinking today is, oh gosh, it's yogi tea. And if you get yogi teas, you know that it has a little message on it. And on the tea bag, it has share your strengths, not your weaknesses. That was so rubbish. Okay, so today I will be speaking to you about plant maintenance, okay? So we've spoken about if someone's bought you a plant, we've spoken about if you bought yourself a plant, yeah? We've got our plant home, we figured out what position the plant should be in. We know the plant, we know what the plant is, we know the name of the plant, we know the dislikes and the likes that our plant has. And now it's just about maintaining the plant. I also showed you how to water your plant as well, making sure you're not overwatering your plant, because that is the most frequent way that people's plants die, is overwatering your plants, and also leaving residue in your plant pot behind. So it's important that when you water your plants, you're making sure that they drain properly. And once they've drained, you empty that wastewater out, because if you leave it sitting in there, that can cause root rot, and we don't want root rot at all. Okay, so I'm actually going to show you. I have a plant here. Doesn't look too happy. And the reason why it's not too happy is because, number one, it got moved from its original position. This plant actually lives in my daughter's room. And it wasn't in there. I don't know why I moved it, but it ended up being in the living room, and it ended up being in a spot that it really didn't like. So this plant is a peace lily. Peace lilies like plenty of light, but they'd like indirect light. With the peace lily, they tend to, you can put a peace lily in indirect light, and they can go in darker rooms, but the only thing is, if you do that, then they tend to not flower. Peace lilies normally have like white flowers coming out of them, and they tend to not produce that if you are putting them in a spot where it has less light, if that makes sense. So be mindful of that. And if you do want the white flowering, the white flowering bits to come out, then I would suggest you move closer to the light. So this peace lily in particular is very sad, because I think it's not even an accident, I gave it tap water, and then once I gave it tap water, I realised that it doesn't like tap water, and it was too late. So it is now showing me that it didn't like the tap water. So as you can see, these leaves are brown. These leaves are yellowing, and it doesn't look too happy. So what I'm gonna do to make sure this plant is maintained is I'm gonna trim. Yeah. So any brown bits you have on your plant, you're gonna want to trim them off. And the reason why you're gonna want to trim them off is because they don't need to be there, and because they're there, they're taking energy from the plant, and that energy could be going on to growing more new growth, or going on to just maintaining the actual plant itself. So the reason why we cut the yellow bits and the brown bits off is so the plant has more energy and it can distribute energy in other areas of the plant, basically. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the pot out. To be honest with you, a really good tip with peace lilies is to actually put them in a bigger pot. So this is its nursery pot. I haven't changed this pot since I've actually bought it. But the thing is that it is growing, but what I've seen other people doing is when they tend to put their peace lily, they put it in a pot that's slightly a little bit bigger. I did kind of want to repot this, but as it is winter, I'm not going to. They say it's really bad to repot your plant when it's winter time, and it makes sense because of the humidity is really cold. I suppose it can kind of shock your plant as well, and plus plants during the winter season tend to stop growing, and if they do grow, they grow very slowly. So it's better to repot your plant in the warmer months, I suppose. But what I'm doing now is I'm just literally cutting, and you can actually pull away as well. Try and be careful though if you are wanting to kind of pull at the plant. If you are pulling and it's a bit of a struggle, I would suggest not trying to fight with the plant, because you can hurt the plant in some instincts. So I'm going to pull. And I mean, like I said before, this peace lily likes distilled water, filtered water, alkaline water. It really doesn't like tap water. And I mean, I suppose a lot of the time plants will show you what is going on with them through their leaves. There's quite a lot. There's actually quite a lot of yellow. So I really will not be feeding this plant any tap water because it's showing me that it can't take it. I normally actually water this plant with alkaline water. I can't be dealing with all. And you know what? Look, as I'm cutting, I can see spider. What are you doing in my plant, you cheeky spider? What are you doing? No, go somewhere else. Okay, he's escaping. Escape. You have to be really careful with pests, yeah? When I see spider in my plant, I either get happy or a little bit nervous because I'm like, okay, that spider is chilling there, it can eat all the gnats for me, yeah. But then sometimes it's just like, wait, was that a spider mite? Is it gonna try and destroy my plant? Not all pests are good pests. And I mean, at this point, as I'm cutting away the yellowing leaves, when you're doing this, you want to actually like be observing the plant as well. So as I'm cutting, you know, the yellowing leaves, the browning leaves, I'm actually looking, I'm inspecting the plant. I'm checking to see if the leaves are okay. I'm checking to see if there's any pests, any bugs. There's a lot of new growth actually, which I'm really happy about. And okay, so this leaf here is burnt, yeah? There's one or two things you could do. You could leave the leaf on there and that adds a bit of like character to the plant. You could cut around it, which is probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, two things. You could leave it or you could just cut around it. I wouldn't personally rip that out because there's nothing, the leaf isn't yellowing, it's just got a bit of burnt. I think it got burnt by the sun. This is why this plant, you can't put it in direct light because some plants will tend to burn, which is why it's good to just research what your plant is and what your plant likes and what your plant doesn't like. So just like that. So yeah, this is going to promote new growth, me doing that, because like I said, I've cut all the dead bits away, which was taking a lot of energy from the plant. And now that those bits have gone, it leaves more energy for the plant to do its thing. So yeah. Yes. And oh, there's a little burnt bit here. I'll cut you off. A tiny bit here. Okay, just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Okay, so as you can see, doesn't the plant look better now? It does, doesn't it? I'm gonna get some alkaline water. So I use I make my own alkaline water. Shown you before. This is just water, and there is shungite at the bottom of this. Shungite is actually a crystal which a lot of people wear. I myself wear it. It's good for protecting you against EMFIs. And it's just a good crystal overall. I suggest you Google it and see what it does. But I'm gonna use this water because my plant, this is the only type of water that I can take. I'm gonna give a little bit of water, man. So I'm just gonna and I would suggest, when you water this plant, you want to wait for the plant to dry out. So you want the soil to be quite dry before you then go ahead and water the plant. And once you've watered the plant as well, you could also give it a bit of a spray. And don't forget, I'm not now going to pick this plant up and just put it down and like forget about it and be like, yeah, I feel so good, I watered my plant, it's all good. Because it's not good, yeah? Your plant's not good. If you were to do that, that's how you create root rot. So I'm now going to take this plant out of here. See that? Hear that? Yeah, so there's a lot of water in this pot. And if I were to just leave it sitting in here, I don't know if you can see that line. Can you see? You can see that line. So you see where the water line is? That's where the water's going up to. So if I were just to leave this pot sitting in here, that's not good. Literally, that's not good. And I've done that. I've done it before. I've done it with a few of my plants actually. And I was really confused. I was like, but I've been watering you. I don't overwater you. And it's just like, yeah, but you're not draining it. And that's not good practice. So yeah. And what I would actually suggest is if you can get maybe something like a saucer. I like to water my plants on a natural saucer. I've got like a terracotta saucer that I can see over there. Or just make sure you're waiting for the pot to drain. And then once you get all of this leftover water, you can just throw it away. Do I have anything to throw away? Where's my bucket? Oh, I'll just use this. Okay, so that's the peace lily plant. I'm actually happy about that. I left that plant I was staring at for ages, and I was like, you know what, let me just save it for Monday and I can show people. And I was thinking to myself, hey Sim, I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like I really want to maintain this plant, but I was just like, no, let me just wait for Monday. Now it's done, I'm just like, yes. Because I was looking at it and I was like, you poor plant, I need to help you, but I have to wait for Monday. Okay, this plant I couldn't wait. This plant I actually couldn't wait. Like I couldn't wait for Monday. I just had to get at it. So basically, this is my coconut plant, and I've shown, like, if you wanna see how it looked in its beautiful original state, then go to my Instagram page, because you'll be able to see it in its fullness, basically. Because the reason why I'm saying that now is because I noticed that it started to brown, like all of it where I've cut it. Basically, this was longer, but it was brown, and I was just like, why is it doing that? I've been giving you enough water. Sometimes when the leaves turn brown on a plant, it often means that you're underwatering it. Hey Vicky, that you're underwatering it, and it also means that if the plant is brown, it also means that it might be getting burnt by the sun. So it's not getting indirect light, it's getting direct sunlight. But this wasn't getting direct sunlight. There's no sun. Do you know what I mean? There's no sun. So I was just like, what's going on? Why is it going brown? Like, what's happening? And I got a magnifying glass. Where did I put it? I don't even know where I put it. But basically, I got a magnifying glass, and I was looking at the plant, and it turned out it had spider mites. I was so upset. I was like, oh my gosh, it's got spider mites. And I've told you guys before that this coconut plant is going to produce me some coconuts, so it can't die. Oh no, you can't die. So basically what I've done is I've cut the brown bits off. There's a little bit of brown bits left on there that I'm going to cut off today. But I've cut the brown bits off, and I've basically every day since I found out they had spider mites, I've basically got some of my own special spray, and I basically just sprayed it all over the plant, let it soak, and I just repeated it, and I've actually like isolated it from my other plants, so it's kind of just away from the other plants so it doesn't infect the other plants. But this is a great tip. So for example, if you have got a plant and you notice that it has got some type of pests, and you're freaking out, there's a couple things you could do. So number one, I would suggest, I feel like I'm gonna get the name wrong. Hydrogen peroxide. I hope I'm saying it. Right. The other day, yeah, I went into the pharmacy to get some hydrogen peroxide, but I didn't know that it was called hydrogen peroxide. Well, I did, but I basically got the name wrong. And I was asking the lady, do you have this? Hydrogen blah, blah, blah. I hope I'm saying it right, you know. 1 second, because I just want to check. I don't want to look like an idiot. 1 second. Let me just double check. Because I can't be saying, this is what you need to get, and then it's not what it is. Yeah, it is. So basically, I have to double check. I'm on YouTube now. So basically, yeah, I went into the shop and I was like, do you have hydrogen something something? And she was looking at me like, no, we don't sell that. And I was like, no, you do sell it because I bought it from you before. And I was like, hydrogen. I had to Google it and I was like, peroxide. And she's like, yeah, we do sell it. So get yourself some hydrogen peroxide. You can get those from like a pharmacy. Yeah, I got the 6% version, but you can get the 3% version. But I think it's better if you just get the 6% and then make more because yeah, you get. So get the hydrogen peroxide, and then it will tell you. So I think for this, I didn't even know the measurements that I used. For this, basically there's measurements online. I don't want to give you measurements and then you're like, yeah, Indigenous said the measurements for this, and then you're like, wait, hold on, this, I don't think it's supposed to be like this. You're going to come to me and be like, Harmony, you said. So I'm not going to tell you the measurements because I'm not sure of the measurements, but if you go online and Google, then you can get the measurements on there, yeah? And basically, you get your measurements correct, you mix it up, and then you spray it. So you can spray the plant, you can spray the actual plant, so the foliage, the leaves, and you can spray the soil. So sometimes there might be some creepy crawlies or gnats or something crazy in the soil, and you can just water your plants with the hydrogen peroxide and water, yeah? So you can spray it and you can water the plant with it. Another thing you can do as well is you can get garlic, yeah? So you can get garlic, soak the garlic in water, yeah? Then put the garlic water in a spray bottle and then you spray your plants with it. Apparently that is really good as well. And another thing you can do is get some neem oil, and then you get, I mean there's kind of different methods of doing it, but I like to get neem oil. I mix it with a little bit of washing up liquid detergent, and then and water, and then I will just spray. This is basic. That's what I did with this. I spray the plant, and basically what the oil does in the mixture, it sounds really bad, but it suffocates the gnats, and then they die, and then they're off your plant. But I really want to get, yeah, mosquito bites. Is it mosquito bits? Mosquito bits. I'm saying it wrong. Not mosquito bites. Sorry. I don't really want to get mosquito bites. I don't know why I just said that. I got confused. Not mosquito bites. Mosquito bits. Yeah. So basically mosquito bits, which I found out, it seems like you can only get from America, which is so annoying because I need them. And it's basically this solution of these bits, and you can soak it in water, and then you can water your plants with it, and it has some type of bacteria that the gnats and other type of insects don't like. And what it does, when they ingest this mosquito bits, when they ingest it, whatever it is in it, it kills them and all the rest of their eggs and stuff. So yeah, that sounds proper. Like that actually sounds proper. So yeah, there's a few things you could do, but I would definitely suggest you separate your plant in question. Separate it, just in case it does, you know, infect the other plants. So basically, I'm reluctantly cutting this plant. I don't really want to, but I don't want these brown bits here, so I'm just so sorry. I don't know how this happened. I don't know where the mites came from. Okay. So yeah, like I said, you can leave the brown bits to give the plant character, but I don't want this plant to have little. I don't want it to have brown bits. I like the green leaves, so I'm just gonna cut it somehow, some way, somehow, somewhere. Oh. So yeah. I'm really upset. Plant, I'm really sorry. Please grow. Please grow. Please, 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 please. I hope all these spider mites are off of you. Do you know what? Got tongue tied then. Another great idea is to use a pressure washer. Can't even speak. A pressure sprayer. A good idea is to use a pressure sprayer. The reason why is because the pressure sprayer is good at taking things off as well. So I'm just thinking about in regards to this plant, if there were any bugs on here, because I'm using a pressure sprayer, I suppose they tend to fly off, if that makes sense. Do you know what? This plant has actually got new growth, so I'm happy about that. And what I'm actually going to start doing with this plant as well is raising the humidity. And that is putting my humidifier on. Just misting it as well. Maybe, how many times a day would I need to do that? Maybe 3 or 4 times a day I might need to mist this plant because it does like high humidity. And the thing is as well, like, I do have to, we're in England. This plant will thrive in the tropics, will thrive anywhere where the humidity is high, where there's sun. And there's not much I can do on that front. There's not much I can do. What I also want to do actually is invest in a little greenhouse. Like, you know those yeah, it's like a little greenhouse. So it has a little shelving and it has like plastic that covers it, and then you can zip it up and zip it down. I want something like that because I feel like that is the only way that some of my more tropical plants are going to survive. But I'm trying, man. Okay, so again with this one, this is another peace lily that I have. This is a smaller version, and again, I'm gonna go in with my scissors, and I'm gonna get all of the brown bits, the dead bits. And we're gonna just remove them. I really can't wait to repot some of these plants because some of them need it. And another tip as well, if you're buying a plant from somewhere, or you're lucky enough to receive a plant, just inspect the plant. It's always good to take it out of its pot, just to have a little look. Because in the past, I've bought plants, and I've brought other things home with me as well, unbeknownst to myself. And when I'm talking about things, I'm talking about creatures, bugs, like in the soil that I didn't maybe possibly see while I was at the shop. So it's always a good idea to inspect the plant, because not all plants are good plants. And I've learnt the hard way, I really have. So yeah, that's important as well. And also, don't buy cheap soil. I learnt the hard way too. Have you ever bought soil from the pound shop? Have you? Well, I have. I bought soil from the pound shop. And I was really mortified to see the amount of bugs that were in the soil. And I'm just there like, oh my gosh, I can get soil for £1. This is amazing. It's just like, this is why you get soil for £1. It's infested. So be careful. I also feel like a good tip is, like what I'm doing now, a good thing would also be for me to have some cinnamon at hand. can sprinkle some cinnamon on the soil. Because what I've noticed is as well, during winter time, and I think it is because of winter time, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, but during winter time, the tops of the soil sometimes go a bit moldy, and it's not really nice to look at. It's not really nice. And even like as I'm poking the hole through this, I can smell like it's almost like a damp, earthy smell here. This does not need watering at all. It's quite moist actually, so I'm not gonna water this. But what I am doing now is I'm poking holes in the plant, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm pretending to be a worm. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Because this plant doesn't have, I mean, if this plant was out in its like nature environment, then it would have all of these natural things like worms going through the soil to aerate it. But I don't think I do anyway. So I'm gonna need to do it. I'm gonna need to do it for the plant. Is basically what I'm saying. Ah, look, new growth. Ah, there's a flower I can see. So I need to keep this in the light, and it will flower. And a lot of the times, a lot of plants don't need watering. They just need humidity. They just need humidity. So before you go to water a plant, just be like, does it really need a water? Does it really? Or does it need a little bit of a spray? This really does get strenuous when you're doing this. Can you imagine doing this to like hundreds of plants, like more than once a day? Oh gosh, okay, let's pop you here. Okay, this is why you shouldn't repot plants in winter. Seriously though, you shouldn't, because I repotted this philodendron. I repotted philodendron. It was a big plant that I got, but at the time I didn't look at. I just saw this beautiful plant and I saw the price tag on it, and I was like, I have to have it. I have to have that plant. I'm gonna have it. I've got the plant. So I wasn't really, with all the excitement that I had with buying the plant and looking at the plant, I forgot myself, and I forgot to like look at the plant and inspect the plant and actually see if the plant was a good plant. And I don't think it was in the greatest condition, as in it wasn't the healthiest when I bought it at the time. Yeah. And for a while I didn't really know that. So it was root bound. A lot of plants, when they become root bound, it means that there's nowhere for their roots to go. And a lot of times you might see plant pots with, does this one have it? Oh, perfect. So a lot of times you might see plant pots with roots like that coming out of the bottom of it. That means you need to repot it. So I need to repot this plant. I needed to repot this plant time ago, but I need to get some more pots. And the only annoying thing about that is that all the terracotta pots are gone. Yeah, all the I think this plant can graduate to a terracotta pot, but all the terracotta pots in my area have gone. So I need to re-up on that. Or if anyone knows of a supply that sells really cheap terracotta pots, please let me know, because I need to know about them. But yeah, back to the plant. This philodendron is not too happy, and I do feel like it's because I repotted it in winter when you're not really supposed to. I managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I managed to get 5 plants out of one plant. I've got one in water, so you can actually propagate philodendron. You can propagate this philodendron, and I didn't know that. And I think I saw it in someone's video, and I was like, okay, I can propagate you. This is good. I love propagating. If you don't know what propagating is, I'm going to do a separate video all about propagating, so don't you worry. But yeah, back to this philodendron. Okay, so it's dry, yeah? So I'm going to water this because it is dry. The only thing... So yeah, I'm going to water this. There's also... There's also leaves yellowing, which I don't like to see because it doesn't look very happy. I'm very hopeful because I see people with pictures of like when they first got their plant and it's really small, or if they've like rescued a plant and it's like literally nothing, but then because they've rescued it and they've cut it away, you know, it gives it energy to produce more. Okay, this is another thing as well. So I'm just going to show you on the back of this leaf. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but on the back of this leaf, I can't really see. No, you can't. On the back of this leaf, I can see like dots. And I think these are tiny little bugs, which is why it's important to clean your leaves as well. Very important to clean your leaves. Not only does it clean the surface of the leaf so it can properly take in, you know, the sun and do its thing. It also gets rid of any bugs that you're not able to see. So before I cut this off, actually, I just want to see something. So I was just about to get rid of this leaf, but I'm gonna do an experiment now, actually, because I've been experimenting a little bit with spirulina, and I feel like if there's a plant that is losing its greenness, I'm gonna leave this on and just actually have a little look and see. I'll let you know what I find on my findings next week. But I'm gonna leave these leaves on because I'm gonna do an experiment. I'm gonna quickly, sorry, I should have everything prepared, but I'm literally thinking on my feet today. I'm gonna literally grab some spirulina from my cupboard, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sprinkle some spirulina on the soil. Yeah, I did this with one of my other plants. I have a succulent in my bedroom, and it was looking like really pasty. Like the color was just like whoa. And I put some spirulina in the soil, and what I did is I just watered it normally and just left it alone. And when I look at it now, it looks green. I'm just like, oh, I wonder if the spirulina did that. So we're gonna find out. Yeah, do this little experiment. So I've just sprinkled spirulina. See that? All over the soil. I'm just gonna clean the remainder. Is that worth staying on? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut one of the dead looking leaves off because I do want it to survive. I'm gonna cut it off as low as I can. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clean the rest of the leaves as I go. I'm only gonna use water for this because I don't have any of my spray at hand. Plus I need to make some more. And as I'm wiping this leaf, I'm just setting my intentions. I want you, Phil, yeah, Phil 2 or 3, because I've got 5 of you now. I want you, Phil, I want you to grow big and strong. I want you to have really green, luscious leaves, and I want you to thrive. Yeah, I want you to grow. I want you to produce new growth for me and for you. For everybody. Do you hear me, Phil? You hear these intentions? Hope you can. So yeah, Phil's gonna grow big and strong. Hey, Ruby. Hey. Yes, spirulina. Yes, Sim. Yes, Simone. Hydrogen peroxide spray. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. It works wonders. Sometimes if you use it, depending on the potency of the hydrogen peroxide spray, sometimes if you use it and you pour it like in your soil, because I've done this before, your soil will start to bubble up, like literally bubble up. It's actually really creepy, but it gets rid of like it gives the soil oxygen and it gets rid of all the pests and nasties. So that's a really good way. But I would say, like with hydrogen peroxide, it's not something that you use all the time. use it once in a blue moon. You don't regularly use it because it can damage the plant over a period of time. But yeah. Okay, so I've set my intentions for you, Phil. Yeah. This pot is so weird. I've set my intentions for you. Let me remove this bit because I don't. Let's remove that. Now we're gonna water it. This plant isn't fussy. Actually, I don't even know. I shouldn't say that this plant. Do you know what? Because it is a little bit sad, we're gonna give it special water. We're gonna give it alkaline water. I wouldn't normally give this plant alkaline water. I'd just normally give it tap water. But because he is looking a bit sad, we're gonna give him special treatment. As this is a porous terracotta pot, we're gonna need to pour a little bit more water in. I'm just gonna stick some holes in, cause wow, the soil is wow, cause the soil is very dry. It's hella dry in here, so I'm gonna prod the soil with this stick. And a lot of the times when you see sticks in plants, it's to do one or two things. It's to mainly keep the plant secure, so it has like something to grow against as well. So it's like a marker for the plant to grow against, and also to give the plant a little bit of support. Sometimes you might have a plant leaning to one side. So yeah, and it's really good to use to poke your soil. Like I said, I don't have worms inside the soil, so I'm literally making sure that when I water the soil, the water doesn't just go anywhere. It's actually seeping in and it's going to where it needs to go. So yeah, and it's also just good to just distribute the spirulina that I've literally just put on top of the soil. Yeah, a bit of fun. So yeah, I've done that. Bish bash bosh. I'm gonna give it a little bit more water because no water has actually come out from the bottom. So I'm gonna give it a bit more water. And I'm going to spritz him because that's what he deserves. And I want to keep you guys posted. So, not on Thursday because that's just like, come on, we need to give it a little bit more time. I would say on Monday, we're going to check in with this. Every Monday we'll check in with this and I'm going to let you know if the spirulina worked. If it does work, I'm going to be raving about it. Like, listen, you can put spirulina here, you can put spirulina there, here, there, everywhere. Okay, so this is draining, so I'm going to leave this to drain. Just going to pop it over here. Perfect. Okay. In my last video? I think in my last video I was showing you, I don't even know what I was doing. But I think I forgot to show you this snake plant. I was talking about variations of plants and how there's loads of different types of plants within a plant species. So for example, the Sansevieria is known as a snake plant, mother-in-law's tongue, all different types of names, but that is what it's commonly known as. This is another type of snake plant actually. I actually need to give it. It's actually grown a lot actually. This thing in the middle has grown a lot. This right here, it's grown a lot. And I would suggest if you have any plants that you have and you really want them to grow and you're looking at it and it's like, why isn't it growing? Like, been looking after you. Why have you just stayed the same size? You might need to fertilize it. Yeah. I found that when I fertilize this plant with either rice water or banana water, it grows freakishly fast. And I mean, with this snake plant, I don't tend to fuss with the snake plant because it is a snake plant and it's one of them plants where you can pretty much just leave it, neglect it, and it will thrive. So I've kind of been doing that, and I haven't fertilized it for a very long time. I think since maybe June or August times. But like I said previously, and I'm saying now, shouldn't really fertilise your plants in winter time. And I feel like they say that because of the chemicals in it. I don't know, but I do. Some plants I do. Sometimes some plants I do fertilise. And I think they say that because, number one, it's winter, so it's cold, and the plants kind of stop growing. So if you're putting fertiliser in it, I feel like the fertiliser itself, which has chemicals in it, is burning the plant. But I mean, if you have something natural like rice water or banana water, that's not really gonna burn the plant. It's natural, isn't it? So I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that. But I still fertilise some of my plants, just not as much. And if I do, it's like less. It's weak, so it's not as strong as it would be. So I would suggest if you do want to fertilise your plants during the winter time, you can, but just be mindful not to overdo it. And if you're gonna do it, don't do it as you would. Don't make the mixture as strong as you would, say for example in summertime, because obviously with the heat, things grow faster. So that's a little tip. Or you can just use spirulina, because that's what I'm gonna use right now. Actually, I'm gonna use some spirulina. Let's see. Let's experiment. This is what I love about using natural stuff as well. Like, it's not gonna kill the plant. The plant's gonna be fine. The plant's just like, ooh, you're painting my nails. Ooh, you're giving me some therapy. Yeah, I am. It will love it. So I'm gonna give this some spirulina. If I was really extra, I'd be measuring it as well and seeing how long it has grown. But I ain't got time for that. I'm just gonna measure it by my eye. But yeah, I really like this plant. I just wish it grew a little bit faster. Or I wish it just like produced a baby. I'd be really happy if it did that. This needs a bit of yeah, it does. Whoa. You hear how dry that is? Damn. You dry, man. How have you been surviving with this dry ass soil? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. What just happened? Sorry guys, let's just pause the music for a second. Okay, so I'm gonna water this. That's finished draining. Tap water is fine to water this. Snake plants, they're fine. And do you know what? I'll just advise anyone. If you really want to plant and you're just like, I really, really want to plant, I just can't. I can't. Stop saying I can't and start saying I can, yeah? You can look after a plant. Just go for like the most basic plant. Go for like the least killable plant. Something like a snake plant, something like a ZZ, something like a golden pothos. Use that as your starter plant. And once you've conquered that plant, you're going to feel really good. And then you're going to be able to move on to other types of plants. I mean, the first plant I got, it wasn't a snake plant. I think the first plant I got was a parlor palm and a Swiss cheese and a golden pothos. Do you know what? With me, I didn't just buy one plant. That's one thing with me. I didn't just buy one plant. And I always used to get gifted like all the, I can't even say it, orchids. I always used to get gifted orchids. And the thing I love about orchids is that when the plant looks like it's dead, it's not. It's like playing a trick on you. And it always like just comes back to life. I really like that. Oh, and that's another point as well, you know. During winter, a lot of plants like to go dormant. And dormant is just basically the plant looks like it's dead. And it's not dead. It's alive. It's playing a little trick on you. And it will come back to life again when it gets a little bit warmer. But I've had plants like that. Like, so for example, my Hoya plant. I had a Hoya and I actually think it's dead actually now. But I had two Hoya plants. So I've got one in water, which I was propagating, and it was living in there because it was doing really well. Okay, I'm gonna leave that to drain. Yeah, it was doing really well. Let me actually show you. But then all the leaves started to fall off. It's actually sad. Look, all the leaves started to fall off. This is the last leaf. I might as well just rip that off. Don't know why I've still got it. Well, I know why I've still got it because, like I said, the plant's going to dormancy. I'm basically hoping this plant has gone into dormancy, I think is what I'm trying to say. But I've kept the plant. So this plant is in the water. Can you see the roots? What I think I might do with this plant, is because I can't put it, it's winter time, is just, I think I'm just going to leave it in the water. Change it as I normally would. Spray it. Keep the I feel like sticks. Keep the stems keep the stems humid. Because basically when this plant actually grows, it will actually shoot out these long stems. And some people tend to cut them off because they think that they should cut them off, but you shouldn't, because when it grows the long stems, it's preparing to shoot out leaves. So I'm just going to be hopeful for this and hope that it does do that. If it doesn't, then it's fine. I'll get another Hoya plant. But it'd be nice if it does do that. And again, with the, what do you call it? Oh my gosh. This plant. So, I forgot what this is called. Oh my gosh, just went blank. What are you called? What is it called? What is this plant called? What is this plant called? What is this? I completely forgot what this is called. Oh, not an anthurium. Anyway, I'll wait for one of y'all to let me know if you guys know what this plant is. But basically, this plant is a sneaky little plant, and the reason why it's a sneaky little plant is because I bought this plant, and I bought quite a few of them actually because they were reduced at home base when I actually bought them. But when it looked like they had died, I was like, oh my gosh, it's dead, damn. And then I just kind of just took the plant and I was like, I'll just put you in my compost because that's what I do. Put in any plant that has died, or the soil, I'll use it, reuse the soil for compost. But I didn't realise that in me throwing away these plants in the soil, because I didn't realise that some of them are bulbs as well, I didn't realise that they grow back. So for a while I had just say for example this isn't here, so for a while I just had this, like the lower part, for a while I just had the lower part in the soil because I chucked it in, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I should maybe try and plant this. And I think I saw one growing in another plant. So look, here's a baby one, and there's another baby one next to it trying to grow out. But these just keep on popping up. I've got so many of these popping out of plants. It's actually funny. I find it so funny. I've got 2 as well in there. And yeah, I recently discovered through my sister that you can actually propagate these. So you can put them in water, they can grow in water, which is really cool. And the reason why I like to grow these in water is because when I do grow them in soil, I don't tend to, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe it's the soil that I was using for this particular plant. Because like I said, some soils can be really rubbish, and you might just have to repot your plant with new soil. I mean, these ones are doing all right, so I don't really need to do that to those ones. Maybe it was the soil. But I just think it's just so cool. What is this plant called? This is really going to get on my nerves. What's this plant called? I completely forgot what you are. Alocasia! Alocasia! This is an alocasia. And you know how I had to remember that? I was like, I was thinking about, there's an alocasia plant that I really want to get. It's on my bucket list, and it has like, is it the it's not the elephant ears, they are elephant ears, but it has like basically the stem, this bit here, yeah, is patterned, and it looks like some type of, is it zebra? It looks like some zebra print on the actual stem. Like the stem is just beautiful. It's beautiful. So yeah, I want to get an alocasia. I'm so glad I remembered that. I'm like proper looking at like, what are you? What are you? Alocasias are beautiful plants. Beautiful plants to have. So yeah, alocasias. Plant maintenance. What else can I tell you about plant maintenance? Another thing as well is really good. So for example, you got your plant. You know what your plant is. You know what it's called. You've picked the perfect position for your plant. The only thing now you're forgetting is, okay, you've picked the perfect position for your plant. You know how to water it. You got it under control. It's growing. It's thriving. What you're going to want to remember is to rotate your plant. Yeah? Rotate your plant. I would suggest every 2 to 3 days, or every other day, depends really. Yes, allocations, Ruby. Yes, you know now. Allocations. We're not on allocations anymore. Come on. Anyway, rubber plant, any plant, your allocations, your rubber plant, any plant that you have, make sure you are turning your plant, you're rotating it. And the reason why we do that is so the plant is getting equal amounts of light on every part of the plant. What tends to happen, yeah, is that if you don't rotate your plant and you just leave it there for a while, your plant might have a lean. Your plant literally might have a little lean to it. Like, it might just be like, hey! And that's why I suggest as well to have something like a chopstick, a bamboo, like some type of stick, a pen, like anything that is gonna give it some type of balance, really. So it's always good to have the stick in there because, yeah, some plants like to lean, and depending on the type of plant it is, it can be quite what's the word? It can be quite fiddly, if that makes sense. So, like, I'll show you. So, for example, a really good plant to have to show you this example in is the Monstera. Yeah. So the Monstera. I actually need to do this with my plants. So the Monstera, don't mind this, I've just got a Christmas cactus that I'm trying to root in this soil. Anyway, not him. The Monstera tends to lean towards the sunlight, yeah? So if I were to, so for example, with this plant is right up at the window and it's leaning towards the sunlight. If it keeps on growing like that, the whole plant will literally just be going forward, and we kind of don't want that. So I've actually put a bamboo stick in here. So I put a bamboo stick in here, so it kind of stays upright. So for example, actually it's kind of okay now, but before it was like kind of more collapsing. Because I put the stick in it, it's been able to kind of, I suppose, the stick's been able to guide it in how it grows. But yeah, a good idea with this plant was a good idea with this plant. I'm getting tired, and I'm gonna do it is just rotate it. So if I just say, for example, the sun is coming from here, I put the plant like that, and then these leaves will start to turn, and that's why it's quite fascinating when plants actually turn. I'm really trying soon to do like a time lapse of my plants because I want to see what they do when I'm not watching them. They move about, I know that for sure, because sometimes when I come in the living room I'm like, huh? What's going on? You've moved. But yeah, this plant, any plant you have, make sure you rotate it. I'm going to make sure I rotate this plant because it needs it. It actually really does. So that's a good tip as well. Yeah. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Um, Yay, made the live, Vicky. Thank you. Yay. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Simone. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. This is it now. I've kind of overran. I'll give you guys extra time. I was trying to keep these videos short and sweet, but I mean, it's my rhythm, it's my flow today, so it doesn't really matter. I hope you guys have had a good day. I've had a good day. And yeah, I'll be back on Thursday. If you have any questions, please let me know. Follow me on Instagram at indigenous.uk. Please like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Feel free to comment if you've got any questions, put them in the comments. And share if you feel like anyone would benefit from this video. If you know any new plant parents, if you are a plant parent to be, if you find this beneficial, just share. Sharing's caring. So yeah. And thank you, Ruby. Thank you. Oh, much love to you as well, sister. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Simone. Thank you, Vicky, for joining me. Really do appreciate you guys joining me in the live. So thank you again. And keep on digging. Dig deep. I will catch you back here on Thursday at 3:30. Have a wonderful Monday. Oh wait, yeah. Is it gonna start? Wait, have a